What's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today doing a Kuriboh deck profile. So I'm really excited to do some for you guys because this deck is an extremely nostalgic deck that's awesome to be able to play now that we finally have Link Kuriboh back at 1. So without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell there so you can burn notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards. So without further ado, let's go and get straight on into this. So first off, we're playing 3 copies of the original Kuriboh. This card is actually the very first hand trap ever created, with the ability that during the damage calculation, if your opponent's monster attacks, quick effect, you can discard this card and you take no battle damage from that battle, which is such a cool ability. We then play 1 each of all of the Kuriboh brothers, starting off with a single copy of Kuriboh, a single copy of Kuriboh, a single copy of Kuriboh, and 1 copy of Kuriboh. These cards are very important to be able to play because of your copy of 5-star Twilight. So we can summon out all of these cards to our side of the field and then step into a copy of Babylon, our awesome boss monster. We then play a single copy of Reborn. This card is great as a 1-of in the build because at the end of the battle phase, if you can actually discard this card and then target a monster in your graveyard that was destroyed by battle and sent there this turn and special summon it. Also, when an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can actually abandon this card in the graveyard and target any number of Kuriboh monsters in the graveyard and special summon them, which is an awesome ability to help you swarm the board. We then play 3 copies of Detonating Kuriboh. This card is absolutely insane. This card is a negate and an extender with the ability if a Kuriboh monster is on the field, you can special summon this card from your hand. And when your opponent activates a monster effect on the field, quick effect, you can equip this card you control to that opponent's monster as an equip spell with the following effect, that the equipped monster's effects are negated, which is a really powerful effect to be able to use, just to be able to use this card as an extender and as a negate. We then play 3 copies of Astral Kuriboh. Astral Kuriboh is great in this build as a 3-of to basically just reveal your copy of Volcasaurus in the action deck to special summon this card to your side of the field as a level 5, so we can tribute it on our side of the field to be able to use it with 5-star Twilight. We then play 2 copies of Babylon. Babylon is an amazing boss monster in the build and is such a cool card to be able to summon because this card is ability gains 300 attack defense for each Kuriboh monster that you control and in your graveyard. And you can only use 1 of the following effects this card per turn and only once that turn. And if you have more monsters in your graveyard than your opponent does, you can special summon this card from your hand, and during your main or battle phase, you can return this card back to your hand, and if you do, you get to special summon out all 5 of the Kuriboh brothers from your hand and or graveyard in attack position, helping you to swarm the board with all 5 of those monsters. We then play 2 copies of Skilled Brown Magician. This card is really cool as a 2-of in the build because this card is like each time a spell card is activated, you place a spell counter on this card. When that spell resolves, maximum 3, and you're going to remove a single spell counter from this card to activate 1 of the effects to either make this card gain 1500 attack and increase its level by 1, making it a level 5 monster used with 5-star Twilight, or add a Kuriboh monster or a multiply from your deck or graveyard to your hand, setting up both of our awesome power plays using this card. We then play 3 copies of an extremely spicy tech card, and that's going to be 3 copies of Garbage Lord. This card is actually really cool in the build because it's a Fiend level 5 dark monster that we can use with the Lure of Darkness and use with our copy of Buno, which is super cool to be able to do. You can actually special summon this card from your hand by paying 2,000 life points just to give us a level 5 monster out on our side of the field to use with a 5-star Twilight. And this card cannot be used as an XZ material except for the XZ summon of an XZ monster of Dark, which is not that big of a deal because we really don't XZ summon level 5 or rank 5 monsters in this deck. We then play 2 copies of Buno. Buno is awesome in this build. Basically, help us step into our copy of Lucy. And this card is great to help us get to our copy of Mutiny in the Sky. As this card is ability, if this card is in your hand, you can target a Fiend effect monster you control, negate its effects, and if you do special summon this card from your hand, and if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add a Mutiny in the Sky from your deck to your hand, which is a great ability to be able to use, and why I actually put in Garbage Lord in the deck to be able to use with the Lure of Darkness and this card, which is awesome to be able to do, because then all you have to do is make a link to using this and Garbage Lord, and then basically go full combo, which is awesome. We then play 3 copies of Magician Souls. Magician Souls is great in this build, just let us dig into the deck, because this card is built on your side of the field. You can actually send 2 spells and traps from your hand or field to the graveyard to draw that many cards, and if this card's in your hand, you can send a level 6 or higher spellcaster monster in the deck to the grave to special summon this card, making it a great extender in the build. We then play 2 copies of Illusion of Chaos. Illusion of Chaos is great to be able to play, so we can search out our copy of Magician Souls directly from our deck to our hand. So, that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to start with a single copy of Called by the Grave. Call of the Grave is definitely a 1-of in the build to basically just stop our opponent's hand traps when we're going in for all of our plays. Then play a single copy of 1 for 1. 1 for 1 is awesome in the decks, help you get the exact monster you need out on your side of the field. Then play a single copy of Ghost Trick Shot. This card is an extremely spicy tech card in the build because all you have to do is make a copy of Ghost Trick Dullahan and then make an Angel of Mischief on top of him, detach a material from it, which is going to be your copy of Dullahan, add this card from your deck to your hand, activate it, and use it as a monster born for your copy of Dullahan to bring out that copy of Dullahan to your side of the field, make a second copy of Angel of Mischief on your side of the field, and then overlay both copies of Angel of Mischief to be able to make a copy of F-Zero and then your topic Draco Future, which is insane how easy it is to be able to establish a crazy powerful boss monster on your side of the field by just putting 2 level 1s on the field. We then play a single copy of Mutiny in the Sky. Mutiny in the Sky is great as a 1-of in the build and helps out a lot in the deck to be able to fusion summon a Fiend or a Fairy Fusion monster from your extra deck by shuffling Fiend and or Fairy monsters from your graveyard into the deck as material. Plus this card is searchable off your copy of Buno, which is awesome, so we can actually summon out our copy of Lucy, which is such a powerful boss monster to be able to summon out to her side of the field in this build, so we can just pop cards on the field. But this card is absolutely insane, and also has a great ability if this card's in the graveyard. You can actually send a Fiend or a Fairy monster from your hand or face on field to the graveyard to add this card back to your hand, which is a pretty cool effect. And then a single copy of Triple Tactics Talent. Triple Tactics Talent is great in this build to help us draw 2 cards, take control of an opponent's monster, or look at our opponent's hand and choose a card from it and shuffle it into the deck. We play a single copy of Instant Fusion. Instant Fusion is awesome in this build. This build helps bring out our copy of Millennium Eyes Restrict, which is awesome to be able to play to basically use it as an additional copy of Called by the Grave, just to stop your opponent's monster effects, which is awesome to be able to do, especially their hand traps. We then play 3 copies of Triple Tactics Thrust. Triple Tactics Thrust is awesome as a 3-of in the build because we can search out so many different cards in this deck, from Triple Tactics Talents to 5-star Twilight. We can basically grab anything that we need from our deck to our hand, all of this card's effect, which is awesome to be able to do, so we can basically go full combo, and it helps out a lot in this deck. We then play 3 copies of Allure of Darkness. Allure of Darkness is awesome to help us dig into the deck for the exact cards that we need, and just helps out overall in this build a lot, which is actually when I started playing Garbage Lord in the deck, is because of Allure of Darkness. We then play 3 copies of 5-star Twilight. 5-star Twilight is the big combo piece in the deck that if the only monster you control is 1 level 5 monster, you can tribute that monster and then special summon all 5 of the Kuriboh brothers from your hand, deck, and or graveyard, but they cannot be treated for a tribute summon, which is totally fine because you're just trying to swarm them all out on your side of the field, so you can turn them into a copy of Kuriboh Babylon, which is very, very cool. We then play 3 copies of Multiply. Multiply is great in this deck to basically just use this card to tribute a face-up Kuriboh to special summon as many Kuriboh tokens as possible to your side of the field so we can use them to link climb. We then play 3 copies of the Flute of Summoning Kuriboh. Flute of Summoning Kuriboh is an extremely powerful card in the deck that actually lets us take a Kuriboh or a Winged Kuriboh monster from the deck and either add it to your hand or special summon it, but we're always summoning the original Kuriboh off this card, which is super cool to be able to do. So, that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the traps. So for the traps, we're just going to be playing 1, and that's going to be a single copy of the Black Goat Laughs. This card is awesome to be able to play in the build because it's a great target to actually set to our side of the field using triple tactics thrust, and it's a really cool card just in case we need to set a trap card to our side of the field using thrust, because this card actually lets us declare a monster card's name, and this turn neither player can special summon monsters with that original name except from the graveyard. You can also banish this card in the graveyard and then declare a monster card's name, and this turn neither player can activate the effects of monsters on the field with that original name, and you only use one effect of this card per turn and only once that turn, but it's a great card to be able to play as a thrust target. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So before we get into the extra deck, guys, it's very important, since we are playing Multiply in this deck, that you do have some really awesome tokens to be able to summon out to your side of the field using your copy of Multiply. And they do actually make Kuriboh tokens that you can use that work with your copy of Multiply perfectly, but you can use any token that you have, but these are really cool to be able to play in this deck. So let's go ahead and get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to start off with a single copy of Kuriboh. It's so nice to finally have this card back. This card is so cool to be able to play, as this card has the ability, when an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can tribute this card and change that opponent's monster's attack points to 0 until the end of this turn. And this card's in the graveyard. Quick effect, you can tribute a level 1 monster to special summon this card back to your side of the field, but you only use effects this card once per turn, but it's so nice to finally have Kuriboh back. We play a single copy of Mech Knight Crusadia Avermax. Avermax is great to be able to play in this build, and just such a cool card that you can actually make invincible using IP Masquerena, which is awesome to be able to do. We then play a single copy of Access Code Talker. Access Code is awesome in this build to be able to play, as this card is just awesome to be able to summon out to your side of the field, pop multiple cards on the field, and it comes out absolutely massive. We play a single copy of Selene. Selene helps us link climb into our copy of Access Code, which is awesome in this deck. We play a single copy of the Dark Charmer. Dark Charmer is great in this build to basically just link climb into your copy of Selene and then Access Code using this card, which is very cool to be able to do. We play a single copy of SP to be able to use as a double interruption in this deck, and just an awesome card overall to summon. And then we play a single copy of IP Masquerena. This card is great to be able to summon to basically just link climb into your copy of Mech Knight Crusadia Avermax or your copy of SP Little Knight during the opponent's turn. We play a single copy of Lucy the Dusk's Dark. This card is a crazy powerful boss monster that's summonable off your copy of Mutiny in the Sky, and it has the ability monsters in your leftmost and rightmost main monster zones cannot be destroyed by card effects. And you only use the following effects this card once per turn, that you can actually target a card that your opponent controls and send a Fiend or Fairy monster from your deck to the graveyard to destroy that card. If another card you control is destroyed by a card effect, you can actually target a card in the field and destroy, which is a pretty cool ability to be able to summon this card out to your side of the field as a 3,500 attack point boss monster. And then a single copy of Millennium Eyes Restrict. Millennium Eyes Restrict is great in this build to be able to use, just basically as a monster negate, plus with detonating Kuriboh, it's just really funny to be able to play this card in the build. We've made a single copy of Volcasaurus. Volcasaurus is great with your copy of Astral Kuriboh, because you have to reveal a number monster, especially now to your side of the field, and it becomes the rank of the monster that you actually reveal. So it actually becomes a level 5 monster, because your copy of Volcasaurus is actually a level 5 monster, to be able to just instantly bring out your copy of Astral Kuriboh so you can tribute it using your copy of 5-star Twilight. We then play a single copy of Ghostrick Dullahan. You only need one copy of Dullahan because you basically make this card on your side of the field, then summon out one of your 2 copies of Angel of Mischief, detach your copy of Dullahan off your copy of Angel of Mischief, search Ghostrick Shot, activate Ghostrick Shot, and then reborn your copy of Dullahan and make a second copy of Angel of Mischief using the copy of Dullahan you just brought back to your side of the field. Then you simply make a copy of F-Zero using your 2 copies of Angel of Mischief, and then you make a copy of Utopic Draco Future on top of your copy of F-Zero, which is super cool to be able to do, to basically just establish an insane boss monster on your side of the field. For any two level 1 monsters can do this, which is absolutely crazy. So that's going to do this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed. This deck is super fun to be able to play. If you guys have never played a Kuriboh deck before, you should definitely give this deck a try, especially now that we finally have Link Kuriboh back, which is so nice to finally have back. I knew it was going to come back eventually, just didn't know when, but it's nice to finally have Link Kuriboh back because it didn't do anything wrong. It was Snake Eyes, and you guys know it, but it is really cool to actually have it back, and it's super nice for the Kuriboh deck. But that's going to be this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell in there so you can become part of the notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.